All right. In our previous class, we were discussing particularly about the very basics of accounting for anybody to get started. Whenever you wanted to start with a consulting journey, everyone should be aware about what is your external financial reporting requirements is all about. Whenever we say external financial reporting, what are those reports a business will be preparing it? When they wanted to prepare, what are the things involved in it? The first step for us to prepare a financial statements or in that total life cycle of it, we call that as an accounting cycle. During this accounting cycle, what we need to understand from where a transaction originates, how it starts with, from there on, how you are going to finalize your financial statement. May not be the deep knowledge that we covered yesterday, but that's a core accounting concept that all of us might have gone through in our academics, either in your plus two or a graduation level or a master's, whatever the commerce or accounting courses that you have done. If I wanted to summarize that entire cycle, like I mentioned earlier, so it starts with your business transaction, which means any activity that involves a financial impact. From there, we will analyze the transaction and convert that into a journal entry, which will have a dual impact. So debit and credit. All the journal entries you are going to identify or write in the form of debits and credits. Later, we are going to summarize all these journal entries by account wise. Let's say you have thousands of sales happened to different customers. Similarly, you have purchased from various vendors different materials on different dates. Now, each and everything that you are purchasing on a different date from a different vendor, everything will become a separate transaction that will become a business transaction again. All these transactions you need to summarize and see what is my total sales, what is my total purchases, what is my total cash transactions, what is my total bank transactions happen, what is my total assets movement or position of the assets. Each and every transaction, whatever we have performed, that will involve two accounts. Whenever we say debit and credit, debit is one account, credit is another account. How are you going to summarize all those accounts? We took that one example like a cash account in the T format, what we have done here. This is the way we do it. Wherever there is a multiple transactions involved, see that whether that particular transaction has a debit impact or a credit impact. Based on that, you summarize the account. Finally, wherever you balance forward, that is the final balance of that account. This is the final balance you consider for your trial balance. When I go to my trial balance, I'll find exactly the same number for my cash. 79,000 is a cash, for example. Similarly, all these accounts, whatever you see, if there is a capital introduced multiple times, you might have received capital from multiple people.
బాగానే
You need to
ఉందండి
summarize.
మేడం, జాబ్ చేసుకుంటారా?
So whenever we say that, we need to make sure we need to summarize each and every account the same way. Once you summarize, then you prepare your trial balance to see all the business transactions, whatever we have recorded, has been properly considered or not. Did I miss any transaction? Did I miss any debit? Did I miss any single credit? If you miss a single credit also while preparing your T account, your trial balance will not agree. Okay, so that's how your trial balance will tell you. It's a simple definition to understand. Trial balance is a arithmetical accuracy of all your general ledger balances. Each and every item that you see is one general ledger account. So this general ledger account summary is what we are preparing to understand the position of a trial balance. Trial balance should agree with the debits. All the debits should be equal to credits because we are putting debit amount equals to credit amount. If you look into any transaction, every transaction has equally the same amount in a debit and a credit. None of the transaction will have a more debit or a less debit, right? So whenever we have the same debit and the same credit, that also has to match in our trial balance. That's the fundamental thing that we do first. So when our trial balance is not matching, what happens? Your accounting team, the end users, are going to redo this activity one more time to check what transactions that we missed. In our yesterday example also, while preparing trial balance, initially it didn't agree. we were not able to figure out where it was missing. Similarly, once you are preparing the balance sheet, there also it was not matching. Then we went back and checked clearly where we were missing. We realized that there are a multiple transactions happened in a cash, which we did summarize. That then later we prepared multiple transactions of cash. Then we understood there is a brought forward balance, which is a positive balance, which is carrying a debit balance for cash. Cash is asset. Asset should have always debit balance. Then we understood cash was missing. After adding the cash, my trial balance was matching. Generally, in our SIP world, also what happens during month end, particularly whenever we talk of month ends or a period end or a year end, all these endings, your business users are going to perform books close. Anybody heard about a books close or a month end or a month close that we are doing it,
Yes, sir.
right? During the month end, what we do it. So we perform various accounting uh, books close, like your all the sub ledgers has to close first. Then we'll jump into the main ledgers. So whenever we talk about sub ledgers, let's say first P2P cycle, your accounts payable. You need to close all your accounts payable related first. Then you will also close your accounts receivable. Then you will close your other set of books, like your asset books and other things. For each and everything, for us to manage it properly, in SAP, we are going to define certain controls. We'll talk about that later. So how to do that controls and everything. Now let us understand. Now we know that the basics of accounting, how much important it is for you also to know. So make sure you gain little knowledge about it, where you'll be able to read the financial statements without any confusion, so that you will understand what exactly it means, how to manage whenever, how to understand when your business users are discussing with you certain issues. For you to prepare all these journal entries, and we also discussed about golden rules of accounting, how to understand your nature of transaction. Based on nature of transaction, we are going to understand which account is going to debit, which account is going to credit, right? So then the total summary of your cycle, if I wanted to understand the accounting cycle, it starts with a business transaction and we'll prepare a journal entry, then we'll prepare general ledger account balance, just like a T account for a cash that we prepare. The same thing happens. From there, from the summary of all the accounts, we are going to prepare a trial. From the trial balance, you will prepare your P&L account, or you call it as an income statement. Then also we'll prepare a balance sheet. This is how we start with. Okay. If you are able to prepare until a balance sheet with the simple examples that you are preparing it, then you are already good. So during our course, before you complete the course, before we get into like FIMM integrations or FISD integrations, will have a sufficient time. I would recommend you guys to go through this assignment. If you are not yet confident, go through multiple times. Try to list it down and prepare this until this. Wherever you stuck, let me know so that I can clarify how you can understand, how you can prepare. With whatever the example you are taking, wherever you stuck, let me know so that I can clarify. You can move forward after that. In case you stuck there and not clarifying what out, then high chances that you may not be able to proceed with further topics. You feel always this subject is very tough. If you are able to understand this and able to prepare with a simple example that you take it, like I have listed down transactions here, so then that's more than enough. Okay. So then we were discussing about in today's focus, what we will do, we'll understand about a bit of uh, introduction about the SAP systems. What is SAP all about? When was it started? What was the evolution so far started? This is a very generic content. You can find it online as well, but still I'll put at a high level quick for you to understand how it has started, when it has started, and where we are currently standing and what is the future of. Then we'll jump into other things like to understand uh, what are the versions available and which version we are going to learn, how we are going to do it. If possible, we'll touch base on a basic navigations. And I'm happy to share that we have some of our alumni as well joining today in our sessions. They just wanted to share their experience, how it was. right? Can anybody, those alumni, can you please raise your hand so that I can see how many are there? Based on that, you guys can share your experience about the previous batch, those who attended. So anybody from our previous batches who are here that they wanted to share their experience? One. We'll talk about that as we move forward. So there were some alumni
Sir,
will be joining it and that they will share their experience about the previous classes that they attended.
sir, I'm here, sir. I'm
Oh,
Chaitanya.
great, Chaitanya. Welcome, Chaitanya. Chaitanya is one of our alumni who've been there with us in a previous batch. And he completed course and he successfully able to join as a consultant as well. Maybe listen from him. How was his journey? What was his academic background? How did he managed to get into the job? Many few words, Chaitanya, do you want to share your experience?
Yes, sir. First of all, good morning, everyone. I'm Chaitanya, and I had over 3 years of experience in my previous organization, but unfortunately, I lost my job. And then I could come course of Narasimha, sir. So actually, I was into a different background. Means I had my education in engineering, and accounting seems to be a bit confusing for me. But Narasimha sir have taught me so well that the basics are strong enough, and I could easily get into the concepts of accounting. And from there, each and every step is well planned so that I could get all the hard topics easily understandable. And also the assignments that Narasimha sir has given me taught me a lot more about how actually SAP works, and these small assignments day by day had evolved me in means my knowledge has grown enormously, and only that helped me to attend interviews. And also he helped me with the mock interviews, which is my first interview after my job loss. I actually had some drawbacks, and sir have corrected me with those drawbacks, and I attended further interviews, which actually helped me to crack within 5 interviews. Means with fifth interview, I have been selected for a company as a consultant. So now it's been 1 month, so I joined the organization, and it's going good. And this
Oh,
is my
thank you so
short
much,
intro.
Chaitanya. Thank you so much. I think we'll meet such more alumni and where they will be sharing their working experience as well, how their working style, how is their projects. So initial days, I won't say it will be easy. You will find little hiccups, initial days. Yeah, later you will be able to manage with the knowledge that you gained. Yeah,
Yes,
that
sir.
knowledge
But
that you gained is most
uh,
important. Yeah,
but the way you teach is really helping a lot, sir. The assignments you give at the end of the day, if you could do that, that is actually helping a lot in our means professional career as well. And I recommend everyone to follow the same, and that would be easier for you as well going forward. And I hope you all the very best.
great. Thank you so much, Chaitanya, for sharing your experience. Anyone else? We have it.
Yes, sir. This is Kanna. Hi, all. Good morning. This is Kanna. I have taken the course from the Narsimha sir. He has taught me very well. The way of explanation is good, and if you stuck anything anywhere, he can help me. He had helped me that like anything. And now I have experience. I have gained the knowledge and from the Narsimha sir, and now I'm working with some big organization in big MNC company. Now it's good. My professional career also good because of Narsimha sir. Narasimha sir has taught me very well, and the personally has taken that. And also, if you want any help, he can share the some job portals, there is a vacancy, you can go ahead. How to prepare the interviews also, where he has taught me. It has helped to me a lot. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Kannan, for sharing your experience as well. I think there will be more students who will be joining in our upcoming classes as well, where you can directly hear from them how their journey was overall and how are they managing their projects too. Okay. So considering the confidentiality, they may not be able to share their company name at this moment as we are on a recorded sessions, but still we can connect all of them with all of them offline, where they are, all of them are available on our various WhatsApp groups, where you will get an opportunity to talk to them from those groups. All right. So great. Thank you so much, Chaitanya and Kanna, for sharing your experiences. And yeah, let's get continue from here what we were talking. We were talking about the history of SAP. Whenever we talk about history of SAP, SAP as an ERP system, SAP is one of the products in ERPs. ERP is your enterprise resource planning systems that we are talking about. Whenever we talk about enterprise resource planning, there are various ERP packages available in the market. Whenever you see various ERPs, out of which SAP is also one of them, which is systems, applications, and products. Okay. Systems, application, and products, which is one of the system which has started way back in 1970. Somewhere it started in 1970 by a German. It's a based out of a Germany, where it was started with a 5 people to provide accounting solutions. Initially, they thought about make one accounting software which will make it easy for anybody to use it. That is where it started in somewhere like 1970s. If you want to see that, it started in 1970s. So the system that was prepared or created in 1970s was completely on a mainframe based, which was kind of, if you would remember, those who worked on it or has some knowledge about mainframes, they understand. Otherwise, to make it simple for you to understand, so you might have seen a screens like a MS-DOS screen where you will input only characters, which means kind of a coding that you enter. There is no fields or boxes where you can enter data. There is no drop-down list. There is no radio buttons. There is no such graphical user interface. It's all about character user interface, CUI, right? That is the style of your mainframes. That is where they started with SAP R1. Okay, so that was the R1 system they developed on a mainframes. This is majorly to cover. So whenever we say R1, that is a single tier, tier one or single tier. So when we say single tier, what it covers only basic financial accounting. So let me say that it was a single tier and mainframe based and purely to cover financial accounting. Later, what happened as uh, they evolved fast forward after 10 years in 1980 somewhere. So they came up with R2 system. So R2, when we say in R1, it has only financial accounting. There should be something advanced in R2. What they came up with, it is again mainframe based. It has not changed. Mainframe remains the same, and they're still running on a mainframe system during that time. And they moved into two-tier architecture where they added additional modules like MM, SD, and HR. More functional modules has been added here. So that is where the evolution started in 1980s. So then after that, after 10 years or 12 years after that, from 1992, they started with R3 system. So when you call it as a R3, so it is tier 3, right? So tier 3 client server, they also introduced GUI. So for the latest GUI, whatever you are using, this GUI has started in 1992. And along with that, they also introduced CO module, you have the PP module, additionally, along with the previous ones what we had. If I want to list it down everything, it started like 3-tier client, which is a GUI introduced, and these many modules has been evolved by the time of 1990. This happened in the range of 1992 to let's say 2004. During this time frame, all these modules has been happened. Slowly, they have introduced one by one during this time frame. From 2004 to 2011, what happened? There is another major change happened where the currently whatever we are calling about ECC, this ECC has been evolved, which is an enterprise central component. So this ECC has been evolved that I will call it as, let's say, ECC 5.0. That was the first version they released. And ECC 6.0 also they came up later during that time frame. 5.0 and 6.0 has been used between 2004 to 2011. During this time frame, what has happened? The ERP system, enterprise central component has been released, and which is a full ERP. So when we say full ERP, what it contains? It contains integration with various other modules like your CRM, SRM, and a new general ledger accounting. Document splitting has been introduced. Until then, we didn't have a new ledger accounting. So that is where new GL accounting has been introduced. If you look into the ECC version, you will find two components. One is a old with a general ledger, other one is a new general ledger. Whereas in S4HANA, you don't find two, only one. The both has been merged as only one, or one has been removed. Only new general ledger accounting exists in S4HANA system. Whereas in ECC, as they were evolving from 2000 between 2004 to 11, during this time they come up with a multiple ECC upgrades. During that phase, they had old GL and new GL concept, where you will find new financial accounting and new financial accounting. Two nodes you will find. That is the evolution happened there. So every year they come up with one or the other changes, new improvements. They are keep on doing it to make it more business friendly, and also whatever the business is expecting, business really requires is what they are adding it each and every day. So with that, businesses will not look to change from SAP to other systems. That's the another thing what SAP is always takes care about. They constantly will be in touch with the businesses. They conduct regular and workshops with all the companies who are using SAP, and they will gather, and then they will prepare or upgrade the next version of the system. So now if you look into it, we'll come back to the latest version. Maybe as we are in the flow, let us go with that. So with that intent, what they will do, they will come up with the latest version of it. That is where they understood ECC has some limitations. Now later they realized after discussing with all the businesses in 2015. So they realized there is some more simplification required, and they are already using third-party databases so far. In all these years, they've been using third-party databases like Oracle and other database. That is where they came up with their own database, which is called HANA database. HANA is a database. If you call it as HANA today, that whatever we are using, S4HANA. So that is their own database they came up with, along with Fury applications. They came up with Fury. So where they simplified completely on a HANA database, and they came up with Fury UX design, and also they introduced, let me say that as a Fury. And also they came up with first real-time ERP system. What is a real-time? Whenever you are doing this, all the integrations, right? You will find a real-time data from anywhere, from all the modules. It's not about online connectivity. It is also all about the real-time integration happening. The moment you receive goods into your warehouse, your balance sheet will impact with that as in the form of stock. So when you run a report, immediately it happens, which means no manual intervention again required for you to perform any further transactions. System will automatically take care of all that. That is what we are talking about real time all about. So this particularly we call it as what? So we call this as SAP S4HANA 1511. What is 1511? In S4HANA versions particularly, you will find something like this. First two digits denotes the year. Second two digits denotes the month. So 2015, November, they released this version. That is where they started with first version of the S4HANA version. From there on, they have released multiple versions. Now let us see that what are the multiple versions they released. So if you wanted to see that, what are the versions has been released, then I'll tell you the few other versions they came up here. So in 2016 to 20, between 2000 to 2020, there are multiple versions they have released again. So what are those versions? Let us understand. So we call that each version with added simplification. So each version they are releasing it. Let's say I already have a FI module, module. Somebody has to go on mute. So, okay. So whenever we talk about this, the new versions, what we are calling here, so they come up with latest changes or latest simplifications in each and everything. Whatever the complexities that they had, they have removed the complexities slow. So now they also introduced about AC Docker tail, which is AC Docker as a part of S4HANA system. We will talk about this AC Docker. At this moment, it might be confusing for all the beginners. For those who already has some idea about it, they are well aware about what is AC Docker. But AC Docker has been introduced and COPA and material ledger, which is a universal, has been introduced. So let me summarize that. So each version added more simplification and Fury applications also added more Fury applications. Though the Fury is introduced in 2015, so more applications has been added in Fury. Now it is a fully functional, right? And AC Docker is also introduced, which is what universal. And COPA, so your profitability analysis has been introduced and material ledger also introduced. Okay. So this 2016 to 20, we call various versions. We also call them as S4HANA 1610 version. After 1511, after like 11 months of it, they released in 1610. The next version they released in 1709, which is in September, again after 11 months. After that, 1 year, every 1 year, they started releasing one new version. It's a more or less like every 1 year they started releasing until 1909. Right now, after this, fast forward, now if you look into it, so from 2020 onwards, if you see anything, so they are releasing almost like a yearly version and also half yearly version. Whenever I talk about half yearly, every year now you see two versions. One is in a February and August. You will find always two latest versions in every year. So in the current year, if I want to say that, so Feb 2028, sorry, Feb 2025, they already released. The next version you can expect in August 2025. So this is the latest version that you can expect for anybody to use it. Now, not immediately everybody will upgrade to the latest version always. They will wait and see how other organizations are using. They will also test on their own and see how compatible it is. We need to first check whether it will impact anything on existing business, right? So not straight away everybody will jump to the latest version all the time. As if like, let's say iPhone is releasing upgraded version every time. All of us, whoever is using iPhone, do we really discard our old phone and jump into the new phone all the time? Is that the practical scenario happens for us? Or what makes you to use the latest version of that? Based on which criteria do you go for latest version of the phone? Generally, it can be any brand, not only iPhone. Let's say you are using already 2010 model phone. Now we are in 2025 and there is a lot of latest phones available. What is the first criteria that you will consider to change your phone? Anybody want to add anything? Obviously, you look what are the features that you are currently enjoying and what are the features are available in current model phone. Obviously, we'll compare both the features in the old one versus the latest one. If you are still happy with the old version, why do you want to change it? Only when you feel that I wanted to enjoy the latest features. In 2010, Let's say that we had a barely smartphones, which has with a very limited features. I didn't had a WhatsApp feature where I could not install any WhatsApp in that because it was not supporting. I was not able to do any what do you say conferencing calls during that time. Now somebody who is looking for those features. Now I wanted to enjoy WhatsApp feature. I wanted to enjoy conference calling. Or now I wanted to enjoy latest data speed, which is a 5G speed that 2010 phone no longer supports. What you need to do? You need to sure you need to upgrade to the latest version. Physical hardware, if that supports, you can just upgrade the OS. If that is not supporting, what you need to do? You need to go with physical change in your phone itself. You need to discard the old phone and purchase new, right? So that is what happens generally. Now, if you wanted to upgrade your SAP also, similar thing happens here as well. You need to understand, should I upgrade to the latest version or not, depending on your business requirement. Now, currently, what are the features has been released in latest version? Should I really need all those features or not? That is what business will think about it. If they think yes, they really need, only then they will start using the latest version, which means they upgrade to the latest version. Otherwise, they don't need to. They can choose to remain in the old version. Now, let us understand there are still many companies who are using the old version. Maybe let me wrap this here, the whatever we are talking about 2021, 22, 23 versions, what has been introduced in those latest one. Here, what happened in the latest there is a lot of innovations happen. Latest innovations happen, including the embedded analytics. Earlier, we didn't have that analytics. Like if you wanted to prepare any graphs or wanted to see the data for a comparison purpose, you need to download from SAP and perform that in third-party tools. SAP didn't have that feature. Now they have included that embedded analytics and they made it as an intelligent ERP, which means so where it will provide a lot of suggestions as and when you type something, which will fetch data from your background tables and will show you what is possible entry. If you go to any browser and start searching for some information, you might see some suggestions. It will keep popping out. So the possible matches, whatever you are typing in. If you type SAP, it will give you all the relevant terms related to SAP, right? From the that respective browser where you are searching for. So based on the algorithm they have written, that will show the suggested results. So this is what it is, right? Similarly in SAP also, when you start typing something, if you start typing customer number, let's say 2500, it will start listing out all the numbers that starts with 2500. If you go to Fury and start typing journal, it will throw a list, drop down list, which will give you the list to select everything that starts with a journal entry, journal posting, journal review, something like that. So that is the latest intelligence system they have prepared it. Advanced reporting they have prepared it, including group reporting, even DRC, advanced BAM, everything has been introduced. This is what happened in from 2021 until today. Whatever we are looking into it, 2021 to present, these are the changes that you can see in SAP whenever using this. Now, still there are many organizations are using the ECC systems. If you look into this, there are companies which are still using ECC system, but there are majority of the companies who are already using S4HANA servers, S4HANA systems. When companies are using ECC, which is the older version of it, so their requirement now might have changed. Now somebody wanted to enjoy this embedded analytics, or they wanted to have a group reporting. None of the companies would regret, or sorry, none of the companies say that I don't want group reporting, right? Now all the organizations, those are using ECC also, they are performing a group reporting manual, which means in a third-party tools. So when the same thing is available as an inbuilt package, why do you want to do that as a separate thing, right? Everybody would wish to go with that. So then what happens? Companies will obviously will upgrade to latest version of it or any one of the S4HANA version. Somebody who needs a group reporting, they has to sit on S4HANA. If they sit in ECC, they can't enjoy that. So considering all these changes, whatever happened from 2015 until today, SAP is also informed all the clients whoever is using ECC system, boss, we are not going to provide any support after 2027 or max by 2030. 2030 is the max deadline at this moment they are given with initial deadline of 2027. Right after that, they are completely going to sunset their NetWeaver system. When they sunset NetWeaver system, which means those are using ECC, if they wanted to take the risk and maintain on their own, they can do it. If they need any product fixes, SAP is not going to support. So with that, organizations obviously will move from ECC to S4HANA. Currently, a lot of migrations happening from ECC to S4HANA system as well. Those who has the knowledge about what is ECC system, how it works, and what was the major functionalities in ECC system, how the same functionality is used in S4HANA system, then those will have higher weightage on their profiles. So we also do exactly the same thing in our trainings to keeping this in mind. We focus on S4HANA system and we'll also share the differences between ECC and S4HANA system. So in case you wanted to practice on ECC also, you practice one round of it so that you don't find any change in the screens. Screens exactly the same. Majority of the transaction codes remains the same. Only a few changes you will find it. Those few changes we will discuss. How it impacts, where it impacts when I explain. And if you look into the screen, that will make it more clear for you. Okay. So this is how the SAP history has started and currently where we are standing with the latest version of S4HANA system. And every year, like I mentioned already, SAP is also releasing 2 releases for us to understand what exactly the differences are happening and what are the latest releases or the features they are releasing it, you will understand. Okay. Here, the system, and these are the features. Okay, what they have introduced. Okay, now let us get into the system to understand where exactly we are, what we wanted to learn it, right? So let's say that for a graphical representation, if somebody wanted to understand this, what it has started, where it has started, how it is. So maybe quickly to give you that picture, I just got some picture. This is just again online picture that I also got. You will also find the same thing when you search for it. So in 1972, that is where they just founded this organization from SAP. The software has been evolved with the intention to provide accounting solutions. In 1979, they released R2 version. In 93, 92, the R3 version. From there on, you see yearly releases happening from 2000 onwards. In 2004, still they had a ECC from 2000 until 2006, right? 2006, the full suite they have released. After that, what happened? So they have started releasing the S4 HANA versions from 2015 like this. From 2015, if you look into this, they have various versions of it, right? So what is HANA meaning? So high performance analytic application. That is what HANA HANA refers to. Whenever you talk about ECC, which is ERP Central Hub. So now that's a big for you to understand history of it. Now let's see that whatever we are talking about ECC or S4 HANA. Now we know that there are various versions in S4 HANA as well. Within S4 HANA, when there are multiple versions, how do you understand or which version we are going to learn? So in our trainings, we are going to use 2023 S4 HANA version for our trainings. So which is the most latest available in the market for any educational purposes where you can directly learn on this one. Okay. So whenever we learn about S4 HANA 2023 version, it also comes with both like your GUI and Fury applications. We'll talk about GUI and Fury, and we will also see the differences between the old system of ECC. How was the ECC system? How is my S4 HANA system looks like? For you to give a quick understanding about this, what I'll do is now. So I'll just share SAP screen as well so that those who never entered into this world are looking for the first time, you will also understand. So those who already know it, maybe you might find something new at this moment. Maybe let me start sharing SAP screen where you will see what exactly I'm talking about. Okay. So just a second, I'm just getting into the system. So whereas in ECC system, like we already discussed, if you talk about ECC comes with only GUI application, which does not support any Fiori application where there is no Fiori introduced at all in ECC. Whereas in our S4HANA system, you will find all Fiori applications, which is a fully functioning. In S4HANA also, we have multiple versions from 2019 onwards. 2019 onwards, you see a more or fully loaded apps in S4HANA system. And prior to 2019, though S4HANA was introduced in 2015 to 19, they had a very limited applications. After that, you see a lot of applications has been introduced in S4HANA system. Okay. Now, so let me just get in there. Yes, okay. Let me. Okay, the moment you log into SAP or whenever you wanted to log into the SAP, first thing you will find is your GUI logon pad. This is what a GUI logon pad. Okay, those who are not aware GUI logon pad. So once you get access to SAP, you will receive a link to install this one, the GUI pad. You, as a consultant, you also need to manage how to install this or how to create your own connections as well. You can't expect somebody will help you or somebody will give you KT on that. As an experienced consultant, we are all going to enter into the market with experience. Whenever you wanted to enter into the market, the first time you need to understand how you need to manage that. Whenever you say experienced person and you don't know certain basic things, then that doesn't look good. That is where I want you to become familiar on those as well. Let's say whenever I talk about this, you see this one, this is how your SAP logon pad looks like. The moment you install, it will not have any new connections. So it will come with empty one like this. So the left side, whatever you see kind of a folders, these are your kind of organizing where you can organize your various connections into the folder. If you are working for a multiple clients or a multiple projects, each project, if you wanted to create under one folder, keep them under one folder, which will be easy. Let's say I am working on one project. Let's say, let me add that as a new connection here, or right click on this favorites and say add new subfolder. When I say subfolder, it will add under this one, right? Directly. So let's say, let me add that new subfolder. Let's say project one. You just add that under that. Now I want to add another project, add one more, maybe let's say project two. And so on, you will be able to add the multiple projects under this. So once you add it, you double click on this. On the right side, relevant to that folder or that project, connections will pop up. So far, we have not added any connections. Now we need to understand how to add connection. Now you need to add new connection. So for you to add any new connection, so let's say, for example, you will get this a new, whenever you see this new option, just click on this new option. When you click on this new option, it will pop up a window where you can enter all the details. Now I will say there is a client number. What is the client that you are going to log in? And what is the username? You can ignore it. So let's say that, okay, this is creating a new SAP shortcut. We don't want a shortcut. Let me select this. Let me create log on here. Generally, whenever you click on this, we need something like this. Whenever you see this, create new entry. So go to next. This is where you find, this is the screen that you need, where you can enter all the details. You can give any description of your choice here. That is uh, for you to recognize which system that you are getting into. Then most important thing is the application server. So this application server, we should be aware to which server that you are connecting to. This server is something like your URL to the website that you are connecting. The same way, you will have a separate server IP number provided by your base system. They will provide you as soon as you log in, I mean, as soon as you join, they will forward an email. These are your connection details. Now you should know where to map which value, right? Where to put which one. Now you need to make sure you update your application server here. Then they will also provide you the instance number. Then they will also provide you the system ID. These are the three important fields that we should be aware. So when you know these three things, then we are good. All you need is these three fields information. You just fill that information, something like, let me show you, let's say 10.120.16.1.250. This is my application server. Let's say instance number, maybe, let's say 10. System ID, I would say S4H. This is my system. Automatically, the description will pick here if you don't fill it. Otherwise, you can fill your own as well. Now I will say this as S4HANA. Maybe if you wanted to put your client name at the beginning, put your project name. Let's say I'm working for Mercedes Benz. I will say Bench. Bench S4HANA. This is my development system. We'll talk about system landscape later. You will understand why I'm putting dev. So this is how you'll put it. You can simply say finish. That's it. Now you can see this bench. Now you just double click on this. Once you double click on this, what happens? System will automatically open. Likewise, I had created my own connections. So you create your own connections. If I go to any one of these connections, I will be able to log into my particular system, right? When I go to any one of this, so you can access to that. Let's say I have created this. You double click on this, automatically it will open a screen where you can enter your credentials. How do you enter your credentials? Now, the most important thing for you to understand here is, so you will have your client number. This client number is given by your basis. You can't decide it. So they will provide you this client number. Whatever the number has been provided, based on which system that you want to log in, you make sure that client number has been entered. The server IP number might remain the same, but only the client number might change. You might have access to 100 client, 200 client, 300 client within the same server. But you need to make sure you change that on your work. Okay. So please don't make any annotations while I'm doing it. Please just remind it. Okay, so now you know that how to, I mean, the client number that you are talking about, this is provided by your basis team. Based on that, you will enter that number. Then they will also provide your username. Generally, your username in majority of the projects, like your employee number. Your employee number in that organization will become your username. Nowadays, that's how they are creating. That is going to become a unique ID. If I want to create with a personal name, there will be a same name repeating by different employees as well. So just to avoid that duplication or to create like a person name one, person name two. So simply you have your employee number, which will be more easy to do anything, right? So majority you will find your employee number as your username. And the password, initial password they will provide. And upon that, you can change your password. Now you enter all these three along with the login language, whatever the language that you wanted to log in. Don't try your local languages of Indian languages, but standard way, you go with the English language. Particularly certain countries like China and Japan, they might be using their own languages. But majorly, we go with English language, which is universally accepted and required. Okay. So once you enter these details, let's say I'll enter my details here, right? So whenever I done with my name, let's say SAP user, and I enter my password, and you press enter, you will get into your system, whatever has been access granted to you. Okay, that's how you will log into your system. The moment you log in, now you should understand when you log into the system, the basic navigation of it, how to do the navigation, the basic navigation, how you navigate around the system. and which will become more comfortable to you to work on anything later. This is how your the GUI login screen looks like. So once you log in, I'll show you what are the other things that you will find it. So let me share that login screen as well, where I have it here, where I already logged into the system. So this is how your SAP login looks like. The first time you log in, the screen is called SAP Easy Access screen. If you see this, you can find that here as a SAP Easy Access. So whenever we say SAP Easy Access, this is the basic access given to end users. As a consultant, you might also need it, or you can also use it for various activities. But beyond that, you need a one more access that is called SPRO access. At this moment, whatever you see is easy access screen. Remember this one. We talk about this multiple times about easy access screen. So from easy access screen, you will be able to perform only end user activities. You can't do any consultant activities. Those are called configuration activities. If you wanted to do any consulting activities, you need to have access to your SPRO menu. What is SPRO menu now? So now let's say, let me enter something here. You see some box here, the rectangle box that I am using it here. Whenever you see this, there is something called a box here. In this box, you can enter some text. Which kind of text you can enter? This box has been designed by SAP. They had given this box for you to enter a code to access certain screen. Now, wherever you logged in, this is one particular screen. Now, this screen is called SAP Easy Access screen. Likewise, there are many other screens which you will get into. Now, let's say I wanted to use a different screen that is called SPRO screen, where consultants will perform their activities. You say SPRO here, you enter SPRO. The letters that I'm entering is called transaction code. When I enter transaction code, system will automatically takes me to that respective screen. Can I enter anything here? No. There are a predefined transaction codes given by SAP. You can't enter your own choice. You can't enter your name. If you enter, that will not work. So only pre-recognized codes are there, which are called transaction codes. Now I know that there is a transaction code called SPRO. When I enter that, I see a different screen. Now this is called your SPRO screen. There is a slightly different where you can see, you go to IMG screen. That is where you will find all the options. You will find all your functional modules here, including, let's say, financial accounting, and you will find a controlling, and you will also find your logistics. You will find investment management. You will find, let's say, sales and distribution. You will find your other material management. So all functional modules are here, right? So you will find all of them. So not only this, all other functional modules will find it overall here. Okay. So now, whenever you wanted to work with FIC, what is the modules that we are talking about? FI and C. These are the only two major nodes that you require along with your enterprise structure. Enterprise structure is a central or a client level things that we do it. This is a common for all other modules as well, all functional modules as well. As a consultant, whenever you do it, so you will be performing your activities in your respective module. Now you want to perform something for FI related, you perform here in financial accounting. There are a lot of other options that we find under financial accounting. If you see this black triangle kind of shape here, this is for you to expand the menu. If you click on this, a menu will expand. If you want to collapse, you just click on this once again, it will collapse. So now you will find many other things. Under financial accounting, what are the sub-modules we have it? We talk about general ledger accounting, and we talk about bank accounting, we talk about revenue accounting, we also talk about asset accounting. You will find all this, and also you find, most importantly, accounts receivable and accounts payable. So, and also central finance. And you will find all this, right? These are all your sub-modules in FI. Similarly, if I go with CO, controlling module. So in a controlling module, we have various other things. You have cost center accounting, internal orders, activity-based costing, product cost controlling, profitability analysis, and profit center accounting. These are your sub-modules in your controlling. So whenever we are learning something, so in our course, we are majorly going to focus on a financial accounting. Then we will also touch base on a controlling module as well to learn how to configure various things, how to solve various issues in a production, and how to perform various rollout project, how to perform various testings. So like I mentioned in a previous class, we are going to talk about end-to-end implementation, a rollout project, and your support project and testing projects. These are the minimum knowledge that we require so that you can manage any sort of project without any struggle. Otherwise, what happens tomorrow? You might say that you are good at certain things and you don't know other things. It's not about you know only one thing, companies will welcome you, right? So companies would expect you to have a more knowledge. The more knowledge you gain it, the more advantage you have it. So with that, then let us have the basic things that whatever we supposed to have with respect to all your first thing that you're supposed to have is your implementation knowledge. Those who has an end-to-end implementation, which is a mandatory for anybody, then you will have a very good weightage on your profile. Then you need to know how rollout works, how your support project works. As a part of support projects, what are the things that you need to learn? We'll discuss all of that and also the rollout, support, and testing. Now I'm talking about a transaction code. So this box is a field where you can enter a transaction code. This is called command field. In a command field, you will enter all your transaction codes. Now you see all these menus. These menus will get changed depending on one screen to other screen. Currently, I am in SPRO IMG screen. When I'm in SPRO, these are the options or the menus that are activated. So depending on screen that you move, this automatically provide the respective options. Some options will get changed. Some options will remain same. Maybe help, system, utilities may remain the same. Some other things will get changed. Implementation activities you may not find if I navigate to other screen. Let me open a new screen. Now currently I am here. If I want to open a new screen, how do I open? There are multiple ways. First thing, you can click on this icon which will help you to enter into a new screen by not disturbing anything with the existing screen. It will leave the screen as it is where we are and will open a fresh screen. So that is for a new GUI window. So this is how it opens. I'm clicking it. It has opened by default in easy access screen. This is what you will find it. By default, it will open easy access. Now, if you look into this, the options are different from other one and here. Earlier, we see implementation here, implementation activities. If I see here, I don't see implementation activities. I could see the system and help. System and help remain same, but utilities, additional information, go to, all these are changing here. Maybe the edit is there. If I go to edit again, I find different three options. If I go to edit here, I might find different options here. Depending on a screen to screen, don't assume that everything always in the same place. So for you to get familiar and comfortable, you need to navigate through these screens multiple times. Only then you will become familiar with which option is where. Whenever you jump into new place, whenever you go to a new place, right? Either you move to a PG or a new house, you might dump everything in one place. Only when you organize and look into that multiple times, you know which product is where, right? Blindly, you can find the next time when you are familiar, I can find my laptop in this place. I can find my charger here. Otherwise, if you mix it everything in one place, you don't know how to pick your product, right? So for you to become familiar in the similar way, make sure you go through these screens multiple times so that you are well aware. That's the first thing that you need to do when you get access to. Now, now I know how to open a new screen, new session with one option. The second option, you will find this option which is for options. You click on this options where it will give you an option to open a new GUI window from here also. The same thing. So the moment I open, irrespective from whatever the screen you open, it will land in SAP Easy Access screen. Let me show you that. So click on this. It will open another screen. Again, it will land in Easy Access screen. So for how many screens I open? One, 2, and 3. So far we have a 3. You can see this in a bracket, the number A4H1, A4H2. If I come here, this is A4H3. If I switch to other window, then only it will show. Okay. In an active window, it may not show. I have opened so far 3. If I want to open one more, so there is another transaction code. Let's say /O. Just say /O and press enter. What happens when you say /O? It will give you an option to work with the existing screens also. So far we opened 3 screens, 1, 2, and this is 3. So first one is implementation activities. The number 1, this is what the number 1. This is all talking about implementation activities. Number 2 is a session manager menu tree display, which is just the easy access tree will give you this name. Okay, that was opened at 9:17:47 seconds. Now this is what you have it. And third session, which is active from this time, so on so time. So this is the session. Now, what do you want to do with the screens? If you wanted to kill one of the screen or replace that screen, you can do that. You can select one of them and say delete session. Delete in the sense, it is not going to delete from the system permanently. It is going to close it. Rather than say close, it says delete session. Or if you want to create a new session, you don't want to disrupt 3, you want a 4th one. You click on it, create. Now it will open one more new session. Along with the 3 sessions, you will find one more new session. That's how it will create a new session. Now let's say you understood now. That will simply open a new session. Now you wanted to land into a particular transaction code. Now let's say there are 4 sessions that I opened. If I go here, that will tell you A4H 4th one. Now there is another way where you will say that now you wanted to open another SPR. You will say /O SPR. I'm just giving a space here. You can ignore the space. So just to give you the transaction code clearly, I'm just giving a space. Whenever I say /O and SPRO, it will open new session. It will not disturb the current session. Let me navigate to one or the other place. Maybe simply I'll go with one of this. Maybe go to accounting, financial accounting, maybe ledger, general ledger accounting, document, and let me say FB0. Any one screen. I'm in bit of other screen. I don't want to disturb this screen. I want to keep this as it is. I wanted to refer something in other screen. In that case, what you will do, enter / always O, then enter other screen. What is the other screen I want? I want, let's say, F-02. Don't worry about what is F-02 at this moment. That is another transaction code. That's it. Whenever you enter /O followed by transaction code, it will open a fresh screen with that particular T code. F-02 screen will open. This screen will remain as it is. FB02 will not get disturbed. It will remain that as it is. Now I have FB02 here. F-02 has opened. If you see at the bottom, you can see the transaction code. You click on this arrow, you will be able to find complete information about your system. Whenever you are performing various testings, you might also need to include this screen to make sure from which system you are testing. Whenever you open this and take a screenshot like this, which will cover everything. So this will tell you which system you logged in. You logged into so-and-so system, right? So which is easy for you to identify. Now you know that you logged into this, S4HANA system here. So-and-so client number 600, where you will be able to find easily, so which system you are logging in, right? So 1 second. So maybe this will not work here. So let me show you this way. Whenever I talk about the system, which system you logged in, you will be able to find it. And which client you logged in, you can see that. Who is the user logged into the system, you will identify here. So what is the transaction code you are currently accessing, that will tell you here. This is how you will take a screenshot and update in your testing document. Whenever you prepare a testing document in a test evidences, you take this complete screen like this, which will tell you about which system you logged in. If it is a GUI testing. If it is a Fiori testing, I'll show you how to do that later. Now it will give you complete information. For you also to access and understand where you are currently in, just click on this and see this, refer to this information. Now here currently the transaction code is displaying. If you wanted to switch from transaction code to the system that you wanted to. Now I will put always my client, which client I logged in. That you can check here. Wherever there is a black dot, which means that is the system you are current. That is the current uh, field that you have activated for you to display. This is how you will navigate whenever you wanted to open another session. Now I have opened two sessions by not disturbing the other session. Now I don't want this f-02. Now I wanted to replace this with another one. Completely I want to go to fp0. Now what I do is, I don't want this. I worked on this. I'm okay. I wanted to close this and open new one. You no need to close and open new one. Straight away what you can do, enter /n. N stands for it is a new, doesn't mean that another new. Within the same screen, it will replace with a new screen. To replace the existing and open a new screen, I'll enter /n. What is the new T code that I wanted to access? Let's say FP03. That is what I need to enter. When I say /n FP03, so far I have total 5 screens, right? This is the 5th screen. If I go here, it will tell you 5 screens. Now, generally, if I enter /4, 6th screen will open. Now, as I'm entering /n, it will not open 6th one. It will remain on a 5th one. It will replace on a 5th one itself. Let me press enter, or you can click on this green tick bar, which is a enter. Press enter from your keyboard, or if you want to use mouse, click on this enter. One are the same, which will open FP03. Now let me switch to transaction code. How do I switch to transaction code? Go to this menu and click on transaction, which will change. Now it has been replaced with FP03, 5th one. Likewise, you can open multiple sessions. Each window that you see is a session, or you call it as a window or a screen. So maximum in S4HANA, we can open 16 screens like this. So far we opened 6. If I wanted to open more, keep on clicking this, you will get another window. So likewise, you can work with 16 sessions simultaneously. That's the maximum number that you can use in S4HANA system. The old version of ECC also offers you to work with multiple sessions. Does anybody know how many maximum sessions that we can open in ECC system? Anybody, those who tried earlier, has some idea about it?
5 to 6 sessions.
So maximum 6 sessions is what it allows. Maximum 6 allows in ECC system. Whereas in S4HANA system, you will be able to open 16 sessions. That's the one small difference for you to understand it. So far, see, I'm just opening multiple sessions where you can see the number as well in which screen you are in. So get familiar with this as we are doing it. Currently, I think you might have already reached to the maximum. Let me see that. This is the 14th. The current one is the 15th. The last one is the 16th one. When you reach to the 16th session, I'll show you somewhere here. So let me click on this. Now you see 16th one. Try to open one more. You will find a message stating you already reached maximum sessions. Understand? So to show you this message, I clicked on this multiple times. Maximum number of GUI sessions reached. This is the limitation in your GUI. Whenever you want it to work, maximum you can work on 16 sessions. As SAP is such a big organization who is evolving, who is creating so many innovations, don't you think that they thought about it? To come out of this limitation, they came up with a Fiori applications. GUI will take certainly a huge memory to run the programs as it requires UI interface here. Now, what they have done, they came up with Fiori applications from 2015 onwards that we have already seen in history. Now, how do I access that Fiori? Now, let us get into Fiori. Now, let me tell you the Fiori has no limit on number of sessions like this. Here we have a limit for a 16, where Fiori, you can work with 1,000 or 1,000,000 or 10 million or 1 million at a time. There is no limit at all. You can open multiple sessions at a time. Okay, now let me get into Fiori as well, just to give you some idea. So how do I access Fiori? There are two ways. One, for a Fiori you to access, you need to have a full path, which is a URL to access, or go to your command field and enter /n/UI2 /FLP. This is the T code that we use to access your Fury application. The moment you enter, you press continue. Okay. Now it will automatically connect to your Fury application. Now let's say it is also same like your logon pad. Here it is asking your username, password, and ask you to log on. Let's say enter here. I'll enter with one of the username. So as soon as you enter your username and password, which will allow you to log into this. When you log in here, let's say how it looks like. So this is how it looks like for the first time when you log in. It might take a few minutes to load everything, but let's wait for a minute so that you can see the complete tiles, whatever has been added. So here in GUI, what we have seen, in GUI, each and everything is accessed with the help of transaction code, right? So here, if I go here, each and everything that I wanted to access, I use transaction code. Each and everything, let's say FP03 is one transaction code. SPRO is another transaction code. Now F-02 is another transaction code. So here in Fury application, to access the same screen for each and every screen, we call it as a tile, T-I-L-E, tile or app. So in Fury application, let me put that here for your reference. You call it as a tile or app, which is application, tile or application. So with the name of tile we call, whatever you see here with the square boxes, each and every one is called one tile. Now I wanted to search with journal entry, for example, right? You go to this search option here at the right top, and here you search for whatever you want, journal. If you start typing journal, it will automatically search from the library, whatever has been enabled in your profile, and those tiles you can use it. Whenever I'm searching for a journal, it is taking some time because there are a lot of tiles has been added. That's a one way where you will search. You will find suggestion with a name and your choice of a tile you select and you work on. We'll work on this for a multiple times. Later you will see that as well, the search option, how it works. At this moment, it is taking time to load. Let me proceed with other options. Okay. So here, let me go here and say, whenever you wanted to work with a multiple sessions at a time, that's the most important thing that I wanted to show you now. If I go with this, now I have one particular window here or a session. You right click on this and say duplicate. Automatically what it will do. So let me stop this one, otherwise I think it is trying to search the tile and it is taking long time. So
Actually, you have opened the 16 sessions, right? For that reason, it might be slow.
No, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That is only for a GUI. Now you can have any number of sessions here. We already have a 16 here. I'm not closing all of them. You can see the 16th one here. You can still have a 16 sessions and you can have multiple sessions here. Let me open more. You can open any number of sessions here. Now I'll open again more than 16 also here, so that you will see. Let it load so that once it load, we will get into that. In the meantime, I will do that. You do this Control D, which will open automatically your duplicates. When I say duplicate, the same window will open multiple times. Later, I can navigate to any other window that I want to. At least I think I have opened more than 10 at this moment. I can open any number of sessions that I want. At least I'll open more than 16 so that you will be aware what we are talking about. When I have a 20 windows, then I'll at least stop it. Okay. Now let's say it is not showing anywhere the number. Anyway, from here I'll count it. This is the first one I have. Second one, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. I have 21 open so far. It might take a bit of time to load everything, but you can work with all those at a time parallel. Now, whenever I wanted to work on anything, you can open one particular screen here and you can go to any other one and open your choice, whatever you wanted to do. Right. So this is how we'll talk about more in a Fury applications as well, how to work with Fury how to set up your board tiles, how to organize all these tiles, everything we will discuss in upcoming sessions. So just to give you the flavor about what is GUI, what is Fiori application, how to call each one of them, certainly we'll spend some more time understanding basic navigation about each and everything so that you will be aware before you start with any configuration. Before you start the configuration, I'll make you understand what is basic navigation. When I say something, you will be able to directly get into that particular screen, just like an expert person. The configuration, whenever we talk, then I'll start with that configuration. That also you will become more confident later. Okay. Now, so far that what we were discussing, so we just understood today about what is the history of SAP, when it has started, what are the versions that we have it. Currently, we are going to learn a 2023 version of S/4HANA. In that, we are going to learn GUI and Fury both, right? So from Monday onwards, those who are interested to continue this a full paid course, please reach out to these numbers, and one of these numbers that you see here, our team will help you with the course fee and everything. Apart from the course fee, if you guys have any particular questions to clarify, do let me know so that I can help you in today's session to clarify, so that we can proceed further with other things. Any questions that I can help you guys? I think with the interest of time, I think have some more alumni who joined, those who wanted to share their experience, as we are talking. Before you guys ask for any questions, I think I'll invite them to share their experience. Can I see who else is available? Can you please raise your hand so that I can see? Or if you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask me so that I can. Something is wrong here.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, you were posting the document and showing means all the sessions in GUI, right, sir?
We use GUI and also Fury application both for our
Okay.
training. We'll post
On-premise.
in both.
On-premise, right?
Yes, on premises.
But if you take the server of cloud, then the documents will be available in cloud or how it is, sir?
No, the server which we are going to use is actually the cloud version itself, which means not a public or a private cloud, but like I mentioned, though it is on premises, the access will be a central access where you can access the documents, whatever I posted. The same as, right, what we wanted to see my documents, we can see that. If we both are on the same server.
But the system which should support should have more memory and all these things, right, sir, for loading the GUI and all this in our system, laptop.
No, it doesn't require any memory. When I say on-premises again, this is completely runs with your GUI login. You don't need to install any SAP dump on the system. If you install a dump, yes, you need a lot of memory, which is a kind of a cloud version you are going to use.
Okay, only GUI is required.
Only GUI is required, whatever the GUI we have seen here, right? So only you need this GUI to be installed. If you install GUI Launchpad, that's more than enough. This will take less than 1 GB, approx 600 to 700 MB is all you need. You know, right, what 600, 700 MB is? Less than 1 minute of video. If you take in your mobile, that takes less than a GB. You don't need to have extensive memory like a 200 or a 300 GB. Earlier, we used to install that ECC dump in our local machines, that you call it as an on-premises, right? Similar to that, we have cloud hosted server. Still, this is an on-premises version, which we are using it, which means you don't need to have complete dump on your system. All you just need is the credentials that I mentioned. Let's say, for example, I'll open this and show you. All you need is this server credentials. Once you purchase for this server, you get this server name, the server number, and instance number and system ID. Only these three details that you need. When you have these three details, you will be able to set. You just log into your system.
Okay, sir.
All you need is your GUI Launchpad. For you to install this GUI Launchpad, you will get a link. From web URL, you can install that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then these fees details and all the server means fees and all this will be
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Please contact on this number. Our team will let you know about the fee structure and everything.
okay.
So this week, those who enroll before Monday, you might expect some offers. So where our team will negotiate, you can negotiate with the team. So they are the final people who can decide on that. They will help you with the best pricing, not to worry about that.
Okay.